I'm going to record. Okay. Just so we have something to go back and.
Yes, yes.
Oh. Okay, um so I want to sow the intention into this field, into this time that we're with to clear anywhere, to clear the doubts that impact our self-trust and our trust in source, our trust in universal support. So like there's been a lot of like doubt patterns up for me. So I want to sow that intention to clear the trauma that creates the doubt, that the trauma that keeps us from feeling safe to hold that joy and excitement um at creating our realities with what we like for our highest good, like the heaven on earth timelines. So it's like where have we experienced trauma that's made us feel like we can't, like hopeless or like disempowered, like the idea of creating our heaven on earth is not possible or won't happen or can't happen.
And
But
also clearing where we hold on to that physically.
yeah.
So to invite a letting go and a um, recalibration where we hold physically on to those traumas so that the healing happens somatically. So that there's where the triggers, it's like hitting a repeat,
Hmm.
or tapping a repeat in different energy portals around our body because
Hmm.
we hold that within ourselves physically in an attempt to heal. But what we've been doing is hitting a replay as opposed to letting go and then being able to calibrate to an more expanded consciousness and knowing. So allowing those triggers within us, or noticing where we are triggered, where we get upset, where we get angry, where we've felt shame by negating our soul expression by holding on to believing in our smallness.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so it's like a clamp on even our soul expansion. So setting the intention that we're ready to let go and allow the receiving of the light, the information, the
The
um
opening of the heart too, because this
yes.
impacts our heart. So it's like, it's because I'm feeling like so much contraction in my heart. Like,
Mhm.
so it's like all of this, it's like these are, this expression has impacted the heart. And then I'm like hearing, like replaying, like what you were saying, like how, we'll be creating from our heart. But does our heart feel safe to, like, do we feel safe to really fully open our hearts to that frequency or set point or fullness that brings in those manifestations, right?
So as you say this, I'm hearing that our heart song. So as we tap into our heart song, as our heart realizes it is the power center, then it goes to our soul song. And from our crown, even we connect ourselves to that spiral of uh, knowing, of information, of higher consciousness, where we bring in that capacity to trust ourselves and to sing from our hearts. And that activates singing from our souls. And that connects our divine template, our soul print, into our expression of how we're living now, into the body. And it creates a rush of crystalline energy into our field of supporting us in this whole process of expressing ourselves in this higher capacity. And I say higher without it being a judgment to a duality of lower, but a higher meaning a more soul
Expanded.
expression of who we
Yes.
are in a body and a love of ourselves. So for all the time we've given ourselves negation messages, whether it's our body or um, our
Mm.
our consciousness, our emotions, where we've given ourselves messages of hate from whatever template, even a service to self template, that all releases quite rapidly. And ask yourself, am I willing to receive what rushes in as the support and the love and the compassion to be who we truly are? And I know for me, the answer is yes. And for
Yes.
you, Nicole, yes.
Yes.
And I'm hearing anyone else, any other aligned soul with that we've set the intention to receive this healing to at their higher selves. What is your answer of sovereignty to that question? To allow yourself the love, the freedom, the sovereignty, the compassion. And there's something else that for you to add, Nicole.
I think it's a divine recognition, like,
Hmm.
seeing ourselves like, so it's one thing to talk about loving ourselves and to have the experience of being loved,
Hmm.
but it's a completely different experience to actually experience
Hmm.
ourselves through like the eyes of divine love, like
Hmm.
to like have that immense feeling, that like overwhelming feeling of this is what it actually feels like to love myself. Like,
Hmm.
wow, like I can't, it's not, it's embodiment. It's an experience of love rather than a knowing or I even say experience because it's more than even just a feeling. Like it's experiencing ourselves through divine love and knowing that this is what it feels like to truly love ourselves, but to see our own, to see and to experience our own divinity. Like, and then as we recognize that within ourself, we also are able to then recognize that with others. And so I just always go back to what I say my soul birthday experience, where I had that experience, but it was just momentary. And it's
Hmm.
like, why? Like, it's my heart's desire for that to just be a lived, ex embodied experience, like in every moment. And how incredible would that be if that were the case, rather than it only being a momentary experience. There was a momentary experience that truly like changed my life, but how incredible would it be to have that as an embodied experience for all, like for all of us, you know? Yeah.
So within ourselves, anywhere we find pulling anywhere where we have criticism and judgment toward ourselves and toward others, because when we put it outside of ourselves, it's to see that it's also within us, where
Mhm.
we absolutely are willing to let go and heal those timelines for integration and those expressions for integration so that we have a complete acceptance that we are our
We
soul
are,
expression.
yes.
And that allows us to wake up to what you're describing as this heart knowing. And when we're in our hearts, it's complete acceptance to what presents that allows us to find our unique heart song and be willing to live it. And I'm hearing the word courage. So to have the courage to go through what has been other than um, where we've been living negation and now stepping into that affirmation of who we are as an expression of source creation energy.
Yes, it's that beautiful inner union.
Mm. So clearing the self-hatred, and the self-hatred is maybe where we put it also outside of ourselves so that because sometimes it's too painful to see that it's actually going on within us. So the concept of, you know, as within, so without, and vice versa. So allow ourselves to be, I'm sensing a deep compassion coming in to lift that templating of negation off us, where that because we are in a dualistic expression on earth, to lighten that, bring in the light, and the light can come in even as light, as sound, that frequency to come in to buoy us, to support us, to allow in the healing,
Hmm.
to make the choice to step into the purification of the unity. And there's an aspect I'm hearing bravery. So the bravery to show up as who we are, because it's been so daunting for so many timelines.
And so then I'm seeing also like, okay, so as you say that, like the bravery is coming in because there's been timelines where we've experienced like abandonment, for example, or
Mhm.
like really severe, harsh trauma for allowing ourselves to, to be seen, to sing our song, to, so it's like that
Yeah, so those
bravery.
times where we haven't been safe, I'm seeing like a cloak come off us, like a physical cloak coming off us where we no longer have to hide ourselves, right?
Hmm.
And it is time to be the light,
Hmm.
be authentic, and to recognize our connection within our hearts, which immediately feeds the power of who we are from our solar plexus area coming up and supporting us. So that shift in between where we heal what's been earth connected to the third dimensional reality, and we step up into an expression of consciousness where it is the marriage as far as the true union
Hmm.
between the above and the below, with a purity of light of the heart
Hmm.
in between. So allowing the heart light to magnify and shine within its sacred structure, filling up our energy field, our toroidal field of expression of infinite nature with all of our experiences and appreciation for all of our experiences, and that willingness to let go, if we choose, of that which blocks us from experiencing ourselves in our divine nature as source beings of the highest expression of light for our highest and best good, and the highest and best good of
Ooh.
all that we encounter, this or greater. And so it is bringing in the expression of life within us and light within us. that creates a shared community of expanding out and awakens within our consciousness and therefore our projected outside consciousness of a complete awareness of what's within our hearts shows out up within our lives. And the power of that appears to be a miracle is really living that heart-centered expression. So I'm sensing, as my hands have become very activated for the healing, to take a moment within us to recognize what is the life we choose to experience to show up outside of our human structure, because it's within our human structure and within our human structure as an integrated soul. And I'm sensing a profound feeling of acceptance, inclusion, and authenticity with our differences showing up as delight. So our differences, just as if we saw different colored flowers, we would be delighted by that. We wouldn't argue that the flowers aren't the same color or the
Right.
same flower. We would be delighted in its variety. So that concept of a variety of life, rather than asking it to show up the same, we celebrate the beauty of the differences. And then as I say that, I'm hearing where it creates a symphony, an orchestra, where it's not one instrument playing one note all the time. We celebrate all the different notes and instruments because that's what creates the beauty of the symphonic um, sound, which creates the
Mhm.
music that creates, I'm hearing creates life. So I'm seeing like the absolute lighting up of our DNA expression to play the whole orchestra. So this healing that's happening is like a full DNA activation and allowing the full symphonic experience of playing
It's the
playing
mother, it's like the language of creation. So like part of that heart song is also the original, like, okay, so going all the way back to being able to speak life into creation, like there is an original language of the goddess of creation,
Mm,
and and through that, through all of the activation of the DNA, through all of everything that you're explaining, it's like it gives birth to that frequency that is expressed through that mother tongue is what I'm hearing. Like that has the power um to birth life into creation through simply the power of sacred sound, of speaking life into creation.
the
So it's like,
divine feminine principle that is within each of us, regardless, male, female
mhm,
combination, that divine feminine principle
mhm,
is being celebrated and carried on the sound that you're
mhm,
describing as the
mhm,
mother, bringing forth life and owning our own lives with a forgiveness, a compassionate forgiveness, where we've had the experience and played once again within a dualistic realm, because there are other realms where it's not the extreme of that, where we've played and had the experiences. It's as if, going back to the orchestra, discordant energy. So we've played with the discordant energy and it's become solidified within our field. So as we allow ourselves to go back to the resonant harmonics of I'm the word's not coming to me right now, so if it comes to you, please share it. Where the resonant harmonics that creates the beauty of the orchestra, we then heal that discordant energy that we have sometimes had joy in playing with the discordant energy, but it's gone to we've lost the symphony by playing in the discordant energy. So it's coming back and bringing back in. So I'm sending like my hands feel like sparks are flying to bring back the symphony and back to the resonance of harmony that celebrates the music and that allows the healing of the discordant energy. And for those who are still playing. So I'm seeing like almost like the way those that choose to still play it with the discordance will have space to do that. But for those of us who are done, we're joining back in the symphony of life,
Creation.
which as I
Yeah.
say that the ache of the heart for having been closed
Mhm.
off to being able to
Mhm.
play the symphony, that longing is now
Mhm.
opening up and we allow ourselves to feel the pain that has
Mhm.
created a separation of ourselves from our divine unity as source created beings to allow ourselves to come back together and play the symphony together. And that creates that longing. So, any emotion that's coming up is the pain of separation that allows us to return to being together, unified in that beauty that we know is our divine right to bring back in. So, allow all the woe and all the pain to let go to integration so we can come back together. And I'm feeling the beauty of our coming back together in complete acceptance and love and compassion.
Mm.
Ah,
Anuya zamamatia matiyata atiyata mayata vaya lava tayata mayaka akayalataya alayasha ba anu haziyama atiatia yamata ataya karaya shaka maya raya shaka.
and taking a deep breath with that, going all the way into the womb space, the Tantien, the Hara, allowing that to anchor into our creation of life and joy in our experiences and allowing that healing to allow us to process and integrate all that we have experienced and created to
Mm.
bring it back to its harmonic resonance where we are safe within our physical being to express ourselves and our
Divinity.
soul expression and our divinity within our human bodies. We're at a sacred time of experiencing our bodies in their soul expression, where it's not, there's no longer a need to leave our bodies to have that divine expression. We're within our sacred human temples of a physical body incorporated within our soul expression and they operate in unity where the passages I'm seeing the passageways opened up to integrate the experience of being both here now. And once again that comes back into the heart space, a unified heart space, the root of the heart, the toroidal field of the heart, the higher heart, all unified, unifying us.
And there's a coherence between
Yes.
between the emotional body and the thoughts, the mental body, but also that higher mind consciousness. And so
Mhm.
I have this sense that, like, the higher mind consciousness, something is changing in that field. I'm hearing, like, in this solar logos is the word that I'm hearing. Like, so the higher mind consciousness is connected to that to the solar logos consciousness.
Mm.
And that is like it's opening like that passageway. So I see like this heart, I see the consciousness of the heart like a spotlight like from the heart going all the way up into that higher mind consciousness and illuminate like activating it like there's an activation, but then like that higher mind consciousness is also connected to um it's connected to that our God self, right? To our divine
Mhm.
aspect. And so I see that serving as like that activating a bridge way of connection from the higher mind to the God consciousness. Oh. But then I also see like that light within the heart also healing the emotional body, like bringing the
Mhm.
emotional body into coherence with the mental body. So that our emotions and our thoughts are coherent with the true expression of our divinity, with that the expression of our purest aspect. Oh,
And as you're calling forth this expanded frequency to call in a compassion for ourselves in the process, as we might be aware that our lives play out in ways that sometimes reflect a very
polar.
earth existence, yes, and that as we allow ourselves to be in this space, it is reinforced more and more, where it's not an issue of waking up and all of a sudden everything is completely different, but what is to be let go,
Oh,
transitioned to allow us to stand in this higher integrated space. Once again, higher, not in terms of duality, I'm talking about the capacity to hold more and more expansion of frequency and light, is that it will bring up the aspects of ourselves to transition. And as we become more comfortable in making choices from our heart space, as opposed to simply from our minds detached from our heart or from the system that's been set up for us to follow, where we've gone along with others' plans for us that has negated ourselves as expanded soul integrated divine beings, we it brings up within us those choice points to come back to our hearts, and that allows this healing to take place and this expansion of this connection to
and
take
there's
place
just
more
like
and more.
this, yes, and there's like I keep healing like I hearing like this restoration of safety, like
Mhm. Yes,
restoring
yes,
safety, like,
yes.
oh, like we're safe to trust our inner source of light. We are safe to trust our inner guidance. We are safe to trust, like we're safe to express ourselves. We're safe to open our hearts. Like it just keeps going back to that, like safety, like oh, so bringing in compassion for the physical body where it's
Yes.
holding those memory records of being unsafe to open our hearts, of being unsafe to experience ourself as divine or
Mm-hmm.
unsafe to
Yes.
trust, unsafe uh to trust that we are divine expression, that we're divinely protected, divinely guided, and divinely that we are divine.
And as we step into that acceptance of divinity, the n- know that those aspects of ourselves that sees beyond what presents to us physically, hears beyond, knows beyond what presents to us physically, all those clair senses of ours that perceives the energy, the soul, the inner knowing, are it's there for us coming in at this time, being supported through the entire cosmos for us to make the choice, because it is our choice to experience ourselves in that way, that it is the safe time. And even within our own journeys, when we feel that perhaps we get triggered and it's not safe, to bring in the reminder to come to the breath. And if you are breathing, you are life. If you are
It's the
holding your
breath of
breath,
life, like
it,
returning to the breath, the
yes,
sacred breath of life. Like the
it's
breath of life is a blessing.
it's not the time for us to suffer or feel ourselves beating ourselves up. It's simply saying, "Oh, I'm holding my breath," and breathe. Breathe. And if you are breathing, you choose life. Come back to the breath of life that unifies all of us within the unified field through the ethers, through the cosmos. And I'm hearing the ohm of the universe, right? The ohm of the
I
multiverse. So
love
like
that.
it's rippling out. So that breath that ripples
Yes.
out and connects us to all that is, that
Yes.
floats across the stardust, the creation, the fabric of life. I'm seeing
Mhm.
it float as a fabric, the
Mhm.
the the creation of life, the tools of life, the sacred geometry, the
The
stardust,
plasmas, like
the
the,
the matter of life,
yes.
the space, the space. And as we stand witness to ourselves and our own lives, and then we stand witness to each other, we're creating, oh, this is so beautiful. We're creating the symphony. We're the orchestra pieces creating the symphony by witnessing each other with complete joy that we get to be
Be here.
together here
Be
now.
here. Yes.
And to bring in gratitude, and bringing in gratitude, and I'm hearing to let go when we catch ourselves comparing ourselves to others, to celebrate that we're different from others, to celebrate that. So to start small within ourselves, within our families, celebrate our differences, because we're realizing that we're playing different parts and different pieces. And by accepting it within ourselves, we accept it from others. So rather than thinking, gosh, this being has this, I wish I were that, celebrate that they're that. And then that allows the free flow of celebrating what we're bringing to the orchestra and the symphony. And then that allows us to waken up and see, know, hear, create, play our own part.
Hmm.
That is unique. That brings us back to the uni of one being that we all are together in unity. So I'm seeing the play out of the rainbow light, the all the different frequencies that goes beyond the seven that we perceive in a body. It all of the expressions of the light that when unified together makes a stream of what looks like white light.
Uh-huh.
So it's that unity creates all that is. So there's a variety in saying, in clearing out the fear of the unity, the going back to the one that creates the wholeness of ourselves as source, that I'm seeing has appeared across a matrix expression with the the dashes and the ovals, is really an expression of playing out life in its infinite nature, but to play it out in its organic structure that allows us to feel the freedom of the joy, as opposed to bringing it into a controlled form. It's the freedom of each individual to contribute to the whole.
Hmm.
Where it's only through being
There's
our authentic expression of our divine nature that allows the symphony to play. And when we're motivated by others and we see the beauty within others, it calls us to play our own part. So to bless that, which maybe in a lower expression we experienced as a separation or a longing or a jealousy or a comparison, where it's an awakening within us, it's a calling to contribute to it. And we step into the joy naturally by celebrating it. So allow any of that wounding to release where we've been taught to perceive ourselves as anything other than what is our divine nature and what we have to offer. Where maybe we felt even our gifts that we brought to the table have been rejected, as
Mhm.
opposed to bringing them forth and celebrated. So it's a time of celebrating.
Hmm. And I feel that in my solar plexus.
Yes, me too. Me too. And my throat, like as if we haven't been able to speak it or sound it.
Yes, yes. Like when I was getting into sacred space, my throat felt like it was closing up on me. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, what is this? But as you were speaking, I was feeling that in my solar plexus.
And the natural expression of the light language that you brought forth, to allow that to free up within all of us to sound our unique sound, to sing our unique song, our heart's song, our soul's song. And I'm seeing some of the energy shifting through expressions of art, allowing the joy of the heart to really come through. Anything that brings each of us individually joy is creating the joy of the orchestra and the symphony.
And peace. Also, like peace.
Ah,
There's so much pressure on us right now. I feel
mm-hmm.
like
Yes,
with
peace.
life circumstances, like with financial situations, with, work
Health,
situations, with whatever,
health.
like health, oh God, health situations, like we're all experiencing that. So, like, coming back to that place of peace.
And for those who are feeling despair, to come into, and the moments where we feel despair, to come into the center of love and within ourselves, our heart, and to breathe and allow ourselves to breathe and receive and open up to the compassion that's there for us and the witnessing that's there for us. And as we are witnessed, it automatically changes the expression of the energy to be an expression of life. And as I said that, I felt my throat close down. So perhaps witnessing all the ways that life has shown up for us to celebrate that back into an integration of neutrality of, and then from that neutral point, that 0 point,
Mm.
that origin point, we celebrate ourselves being together in life.
Oh.
All of our experiences. Isn't it so funny? Isn't it so amusing? Isn't it so beautiful? Because I am alive now. And the most beautiful expression is now. Back into the power of the now moment. Yes, breathe in the now moment. Yes to life. And potential. So, from that yes to life potential in the now moment, we open up and access the field of all potential. And through our acceptance and unification and breath with each other, we play the symphony in the joy and the bliss,
Oh.
allowing that to fill our bodies and heal the physical. And as the physical heals, it also connects to our energy bodies. As you said before, our emotional bodies, our mental bodies, our astral bodies, our etheric bodies, our soul expression.
And I'm also like bringing in that embodied experience and expression of like loving ourselves, our bodies so much that it's not a challenge to, you know, do the right things, to eat the right foods, to whatever it might be, right? Like it's not a we're taking action from a place of not it being a chore or this is something I must do or I have to do or and I think a lot of that comes from my wounding as being a child with, chronic disease. But like we're like that bringing in that flip of
Mhm.
that change of energy, that shift of energy from it not being a chore, but from it being something, from taking action from a place of loving our bodies and ourselves so much that it's just natural to do these things, to, you know,
As you say this and bring forth this perspective, I sense the healing that is what we would perceive in a linear expression in the future, but that capacity to love ourselves profoundly, and therefore it ripples to loving others profoundly through a source definition of loving, brings forth healing because in that unification with each other of profound love, we naturally share our gifts and bring forth
hmm
the healing tools, techniques that
hmm
helps us in our physical expression. And it helps us in our physical expression that also integrates within our energetic expressions. So it's actually happening to us energetically first.
Hmm.
and then coming into our physical. So we would say it's in the future, but it already exists. We're simply catching up our physical to what exists energetically. Because if we imagine right now profound love for ourselves and each other, it exists already. And then
Hmm.
the physical catches up to it. And then the sharing of our gifts and our abilities activate and catches up to what exists because we are still perceiving ourselves within linear time. So we start experiencing more and more of our lives within a quantum time. So all of this integrates and plays and swirls within this spiraling expression that we might call time, but expresses in a quantum expression. And so it all exists for us now. And by our choosing this, it comes together now for us. It exists. We are waking to it. So pay attention through our art, through our sleep, through our journaling, through simply tuning into our breath, through our meditation, all the ways that we honor ourselves and our joy and our bliss, the activation happens more and more and more. And we live this expression of ourselves. And we meet each other and celebrate, and it brings it forward. We hear of other people, we see what other people are doing and putting together, and this excites us. And then we share with each other because we're in a shared
Oh,
expression of service to others and unity consciousness. And it comes up naturally, and our hearts expand, and we all live for the highest and best good of all. And therefore, we choose life for ourselves, we choose life for all. And within the choice of life comes a natural decay and falling away of what no longer serves the expression of the whole for the highest and best good. That naturally, so death is part of the life cycle, as we know, but that death, that falling away, and that sense of decay of what no longer is needed to experience and bring ourselves back to ourselves as heart-centered beings of light who are playing within the light frequency, the sound frequency, the harmonics of whatever we choose to be our higher expression. And we might go in and out and create in different expressions as we wake up to ourselves. And any past expressions, any past negations coming off um, our other ways of playing in discordant energy are now allowing that to decay, shrivel up, and fall away in the natural beauty, the way it comes into a powder of a light and returns to stardust. And that stardust recreates life. It creates our life in a different expression. It becomes matter for more creation, just like energy isn't destroyed, it shifts into a different expression. So that's what's happening to even physical falling away and to let us know it's okay. It's not destroyed, it's shifting its energetic expression for the highest and best good of all. There we go. Releasing our hearts, bringing it back into compassion. That we know more, we comprehend more as we allow the flow of life and the flow of breath and the flow of energy to be.
there's something coming in with the ancestrals, our ancestral lineages.
I'm sensing our ancestors, the potential of our ancestral lines and those who maybe have recently passed, even so not necessarily ancestors being so even far away, but that too, to come in through the generations as a support. The energy is here to support us in our entirety now. So it's as if everyone's creating this energetic support. Just like the story of stone soup, everyone, all the community of all of life is coming in to create that whatever we have to offer, sometimes even putting the stones into the soup allows the creation of community and the coming together to make something nourishing, delicious, that goes profoundly beyond what we ever could imagine individually to creating the experience for all, that complete nurturing, nourishing of life, of the soup, of the liquid, of the plasma of life within all of us that comes together through the gathering, even of our ancestors coming in and contributing. So this is a complete cleansing and purification. Through us, through our lines, all are invited. All are invited. All trauma, all shame, all hurt is transmuted within our coming together as a community.
And it heals those wounds of abandonment too.
Yes. Reclaiming our true power from a source perspective where we are working together as the light. And it's within each of us. And we celebrate as each of us. I'm seeing each of us pop out as a light because as what we're doing is actually creating a stronger force field
Yes.
of power and light that elevates all of us, where we all wake up and say, oh my goodness, yes, bring forth our woes, bring forth our suffering, put it into the soup pot to be transmuted, and we'll create this beautiful energetic transmutation of all that energy that brings it to the point of feeding all of us, nourishing all of us, loving all of us, accepting regardless of what's put into the mix. It's all been an expression of life, ready to being like, yes, I am complete with this. Yes, I bring this forward. Yes, even all that I have done, all that I have experienced, all that I have received to bring forth in the mix of this life of light, transmuted, healed. Ah, breathe. Breath unifies us all. Our light, our love.
Interesting. This is so okay. So I'm seeing a type of parasitic, how do you say parasite?
Parasitic?
Parasitism, like
Okay.
parasite.
Hmm.
I'm seeing like a type of, oh gosh. Okay, so I'm seeing like a type of parasite. It's like a hijacking that has occurred through the biological line somewhere, through the ancestral line somewhere. And it's like created a digression of the genetic expression,
Hmm.
but it's also created a disconnect. Ah. And so like literally not allowed. It's been like a hijacking, but like a sucking of the life force energy, and it's not allowed the expression of the genetics of, angelic humanity, whatever it might be, the full expression. But I'm seeing it also as like, okay, so like a forget like a because of the digression that of the genetics and the separation that it caused,
Hmm.
it's like the genetic line has been serving as a host to this parasite, but it's like it's created like a full like disconnect. um So, and I'm seeing it like in the back of the neck and the like right in the back of the neck. And I had like a real intense feeling when I was like seeing it. But then I'm also hearing to return all fetal cells from the tailbone as well. So, ah,
And it's also coming to the front. So it's going from the back of the neck and bringing it to the front.
is that's
And
in,
that's right above the high heart area.
yes,
So that transition.
yes,
But I'm also sensing to say, we see you, I see you, we
yes.
see you, we know you, and bringing forth this light of joy and bliss to transmute that energy. And I'm seeing then to soften it, allow it to soften and be in the light. And by being fully in the light and seen and known, I know you, releasing all judgment, all fear, releasing judgment, releasing fear, releasing trauma,
And
releasing
there's,
paranoia. Paranoia.
yes, because the paranoia comes from like the hijacking.
Mhm.
Like it's like the parasite like siphoning the energy, and so it creates, and it's like this awareness of the hijacking, but an inability to do anything about it, like serving as a host, being a host and not being able to do anything about it. And so there's also this, oh my heavens.
Calling forth a dissolution of the divide and conquer template that is prevalent across timelines, bringing that all into unity. I'm seeing it form like a steel ball, like a real dense, um, like an iron ball, and allowing that to melt with a transmutational, powerful light of the divine flame, the gold flame of transmutation.
So there's like this sense of, okay, how can I explain this? This sense of being like having that experience of being hijacked, of being host to another consciousness. It creates a fear of, oh, like connecting to our source consciousness, like a fear of like, I'm not sovereign in my field, I'm not sovereign in my body, I'm not sovereign in my expression.
Allowing the access of the highest order of light to come in and help let go of any notions of helplessness, where at our own command, our own determination, our own will from a divine perspective to bring in all of the light, the tools in our unification of the light. We call out the false notions of being anything other than our divine source expression, coming back into our heart because the fear template blocks us from being in our heart.
And
So
that's
calling
connected
ourselves
to the
back,
paranoia too.
coming back to our home spot, our home space in our hearts, and feeling the safety and acceptance, our love, our respect, our honor, forgiveness.
Forgiveness is a big thing here. And I'm also seeing like this, like the other consciousness as it's like clearing, like the other consciousness being witnessed. And
Yes.
also like that fear of ceasing to exist. And where like that's been like humanity's, that's been a fear that a lot of that has caused a lot of polarity is that fear of ceasing to exist. And so through it's like through claiming the sovereignty and not serving as host, it's like this consciousness has this fear of now I'm coming to my end, ceasing to exist. So also just witnessing that. Oh,
Knowing that all energy is transmuted and brought back
and clearing these so it's like oh.
for our highest and best
And
good and the highest and best good of all.
so returning all to rightful owner, returning all plasmas, all consciousness, all I keep hearing fetal cells, all spinal fluids, returning all parts and aspects, all flashline sequences, all DNA expressions, returning all to rightful owner.
All stem
Oh.
cells.
And bringing in the support of our divine teams and councils to witness the dissolution and clearing and liberation and sovereignty of all through the ancestral lines. And I'm seeing how this is like impacted even individual timelines that are connected to the ancestral timelines. So returning all to source
And
for
I'm witnessing as we come together in community in a very practical way, that sense of us together absolutely supersedes any notion of any of our alterations, genetic alterations, intentional alterations. It all transmutes because it's such a tremendous force field that we create in our unity. It is more powerful than any force that tries to separate us.
Mhm. And
So,
there's
so, that I keep hearing
oh,
there's only celebration. There's nothing to fear in this process. This process is simply bringing it to the forefront to stand witness and deciding in our ability to join together and allow ourselves to celebrate together is more powerful than anything that happens when we're separated. And so allowing all thought forms, because I'm sensing thought forms that have even more, have been throughout time, but it has intensively amped up through social media, through intentional programming, where it has altered our minds, where we create these false impressions of separation. And by getting back into our heart, using our sense of ingenuity, imagination, and creativity that celebrates breath and life to bring us back to the healing. And that aspect is actually crumbling. Like I feel it within my hand. So as you're mentioning what has been created in our alterations, it's created an anxiety in my heart space. So come back to the breath and come back to the peace within our hearts, knowing that we are fully supported with each other, witnessing anything that has attempted to separate us, divide us, minimize us,
oh
and
my
feeling the peace,
goodness. Yes.
feeling the love within us. And if for a moment I'm sensing that, Nicole, anyone listening to this now or in another timeline potential, absolutely, if there's a part of you where you're thinking, but I'm not feeling at peace in my heart, but I'm not, to come back to the breath in complete compassion in your body Come
So
into
it's
your heart and
impacted the
breathe.
nervous system. Yes.
Yes, the nervous
So,
system. The nervous system's
so
been wired a certain
yes,
way. It's the
yes,
recalibration.
yes. And so I'm seeing like how, because I was seeing at the back of the neck right there. And
Hmm.
so I was seeing like how siphoning the life force energy from the bottom of the tailbone, the fetal cells, and then also impacting like the mental body as well, the nervous system. So it's so returning back to the breath allows the nervous system to recalibrate itself.
And anyone, even though we're doing this healing with each other now, I'm sensing anyone whose um, divine aspect, higher self, feels like joining in this energy, such as we received a phone call in the midst of this healing that allow anyone's intention to be a part of this expression of energy is welcome. Your higher knowing, higher once again, being an expression of your divine aspect with an intact blueprint, soul print, templating to receive all that's within your divine right to receive. And I'm getting such a strong sense of unity. So even coming into your heart, placing your hands on your heart, putting the palms of your hands together. So is often like connecting your heart in a circuit because we have energy centers in the palm of our hands that connect to our heart and our heart protector, to our lungs, our capacity to breathe. So bringing our hands together forms a closed circuit of light and energy.
Ah.
And taking a deep breath. To trust ourselves. I'm hearing that we've got this. We've
Right.
got this. And allowing ourselves to be filled within a sphere of light. So the sphere representing a continuation of light, of life with no beginning, no end, complete unity in our connection to source, creation, energy, Christed consciousness, in completion, in divine perfection. We are filled with the light that is here for us, that is here for all of us, simply
Ah.
at will, and all is deserving. All is deserving. All is deserving beyond any expression of experience in a life on earth. All is deserving. Simply by your intention to come into the sphere, you are healed. You are welcome. You're welcome. Back home, back to the celebration of your return to your authentic self, to the light, releasing that back of the neck, releasing it all. It's letting go, letting go, letting it go, letting it dissolve. So I'm gonna say that as I say that, I got this message that without that intended block that you were sensing on the back of the neck, we would never have played in the most extremes of duality, we would have stayed in the unity of the light. And really, in coming into this realm, the realm of duality, for the bravest of us who are willing to experience the extremes of duality, and it's gone so, so far into the duality. We're so brave. It's really, we would never have branched off to have all of those expressions of life
Mhm.
without having been blocked from our own light. So by coming back together and holding the intention and allowing those blocks to dissolve naturally with our breath and our witness and being together and coming back into the compassion and the unity, we heal it. And we have
Mhm.
the capacity to fully come back in our unified field of our Christed consciousness. So it's been simply a tool of separation, but really it's a false holographic impression on a false impression of a matrix where we come back to our organic structure presentation of who we are as a unified field of profound, often authentic acceptance, peace, bliss, love, forgiveness, compassion, respect, honor, joy. Take a deep breath.
Aliyah
Perhaps
Sama.
feeling with our inner gifts, our inner knowing, our capacity to be inside ourselves with complete compassion and acceptance and celebration that we're here now, life and love.
Ah.
I'm feeling a quiet and a peace. Is there
Mm.
anything else?
Mhm. Aliyah Sama Yata Ayaka. Layavataya Mata. Tiyaya Matayaka. Aliyasha. Aliyasha Alayashayaka Yataya La. Ah. Wow. Anasaya Payaka. Anasayaka. Lama Lama. Tia Payakalaya. Oyama. Vahala. Oya, oya, yamaya.
Mhm. Pulling all of our energy back in towards our heart space. Pull your energy back in toward your heart space, anchoring it within your energy field from your expanded expression into your human body,
Mm.
anchoring it into the restored flow of energy all the way into your connection into Gaia, the higher dimensional expression of Earth. Feeling the peace and the love, the support, where this energy continues to flow through us in its purified form for our highest and best good and the highest and best good of all. connecting to divine consciousness. Peace, peace, peace. Taking in a deep, slow inhale and an exhale, letting go of all that no longer serves you and feeling the profound relaxation, trusting yourself, trusting your life, that you are here now, to be who you are and your unique expression of life. Thank you, Omateo. Namaste. Gracias por todo. In all languages, throughout all timelines. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Recording.